Hi everybody. I've been MIA for a while, but I just wanted to make this video today because, well, number one, to ask for your prayers. So I've been gratefully practicing mold avoidance indoors since May. I had to go to I went to the hospital in April. It started with a bladder issue, and it just grew and grew and grew, and I tried to go to the emergency room, and things fell apart quickly when I was trying to advocate for myself about the chemicals in the emergency room. They basically called me crazy and sent me to the psych ward, where I stayed for 11 days, but it ended up being a blessing for many reasons. One is that it wasn't moldy, and my friends, oh my gosh, my amazing mold avoiding friends called and advocated for me. The place didn't use any scented laundry products or personal care products, but the nurses were highly scented. But my friends called and advocated so that I had an unscented nurse. And then when I got out of there after 11 days, I went back out into the desert, and I was just struggling, you guys. I mean, it's hard, right? Like every day you have to worry about, where am I going to cook? Where am I going to eat? How am I going to shower? So my friend Patty suggested that I spend the night in her apartment, and I did okay. And then when I went back out into the desert, I got sick again. And I called her and I asked her if I could come and stay just for a little while. And I told her, I'd pay her and everything. And I did. And she, things work out good between us. We really click. She's such good company. And I don't know, it's so nice to have somebody to talk to, somebody to wake up to. I mean, I was alone for 13 months, and even when I was a camp host, I'm still alone. I didn't have anybody I could talk to about my daily anything. And most of that time, the 13 months I was doing mold ones, I was off the grid. So I couldn't even call people. Maybe once or twice a week, I would, go on the grid and make phone calls and go to my 12-step meetings and things. But it was rough, right? So I really enjoy having a friend, it's so important. And she understands, right? Because she's a moldie. And anyway, so I've been here since May and doing pretty well. I mean, she has, oh man, what she's done in this place is amazing. It's, mold free, chemical free. I mean, it's been so good. I mean, I think I probably drove her crazy sometimes because my chemical sensitivities are worse than hers. But anyway, the reason why I'm doing this video today is that we heard about, I had many disappointments. I found out that, I don't have Medicaid in Nevada. It doesn't exist for somebody who is on disability, and there's nothing I can do. I have Medicare, straight Medicare, but that only covers 80% of my costs, and there's nothing else, no other program for me medically that will help me in Nevada. But that was another thing that came out of being in the hospital. The social worker there applied me for a lot of different stuff. So I'm on a waiting list for housing, but I'm a canary, so I'm not holding my breath, but I'm on a waiting list for a housing voucher. And I also have a little bit of food stamps, so that was nice. But I have a huge bill from there, right? Because Medicare only covered 80% of the bill. Plus, I have the other ER bills to pay during mold avoidance. That's how whenever I collapsed in West Virginia, I have an ER bill from there. I had to go to the ER in Winnemucca because I had COVID, and I have an ER bill. I have bills from there, and then I have a bill from the ER. And I mean, it's just crazy, the medical bills that I have that I just can't pay now. Plus, I'm still in debt from mold avoidance, I mean, I got the money from my house, and I paid my debts as best I could, but it wasn't enough. So, I mean, it's just really hard, you guys. You get behind the 8 ball and you're sick, and you don't have another. I've also been working with vocational ed to try to find some way to work from home, So anyway, I'm going to get back to the reason I'm making this video. So our neighbors next door are canaries. Well, one of them's a canary. And we heard about a Lyme through the Las Vegas Lyme group, because even though I don't have a positive test, the research that I've done and the experts that I talked to a woman from the tick-borne illness working group, and she said that where I grew up in Manchester, Connecticut, is really close to the place where Lyme disease was originally discovered and named for, Lyme, Connecticut. So, I think I have Lyme. I think I have tick-borne illness that's undiagnosed, and I can't get it diagnosed because I just told you. Anyway, long story short, I started thinking about, okay, I'm going to start, doing things that people with Lyme do, and I believe 100% that the answer is detoxing and killing these infections that I have. Anyway, so all that just to say, we heard about this doctor that was Lyme literate and mold literate, and well, actually, I don't know about mold literate, but we heard about a Lyme literate doctor, and so we made an appointment. My neighbor Andrea and I, our appointments happened to be on the same day, so we carpooled. We went in my van, and we were both wearing N95 masks, and I just sat down and I felt like lead, and I felt like a dark cloud descend on me. But I was wearing my mask, and I was just sitting there, and my brain kind of clicked off. And she took her mask off and she sniffed, and she was like, "Michelle, this place is moldy." And I was like, "Really? Well, what do you want to do? Do you want to stay for the appointment?" And she was like, "I don't know, that's up to you." But I couldn't think at that time, right? Because I had the brain scramble mold fog going on. So as she kept talking, it finally clicked, okay, maybe we should think about leaving. And she was like, maybe we should think about leaving. And then I used their bathroom, guys, and the baseboard was missing, and you could see the water damaged plaster and I was like, and I was still in a fog, and I was so motivated. I was so excited about finding a doctor where I could establish care, that took Medicare, that, but finally I started getting a shooting pain in my foot. And that's when I was like, I have to go. And I just left. But I did tell the lady, I said, this place is moldy, I have to leave. And Andrea talked to them about it too. And so that particular doctor at that location only does primary care. So I don't know if I have a hope of ever getting into that doctor, but I have a lead about another doctor that's a functional medicine doctor that takes Medicare. But anyway, so that happened yesterday, and I couldn't decontaminate, right? Because my mold avoidance skills are a little bit, let's put it this way. I had a system for if I had an exposure, right? Which it's not a fun system. This is what it is. Literally, take off all your clothes, put them in a garbage bag, then put them inside another garbage bag, and then maybe another garbage bag, and then maybe a bin. Because if you're going to put something contaminated in your van, it better be, tied up. And then take what I call a 2-gallon shower. Pour 1 gallon of water over my head, soap up, pour another gallon of water over my head, and rinse. And then put new clothes on. And, it's not always convenient to get naked when you're camping, So, maybe sometimes I couldn't do that, where I would just strip down I started wearing that boy short underwear and sports bras, so it just looked like I was in my underwear. Anyway, I didn't have any of that stuff yesterday, so I had to wear my clothes that were contaminated, and I wanted to go to the store because I needed some things, so we went to the store, and then we came home and, decontaminated, which this is what that means, you guys. I took all my clothes, put them in a bucket with hot water, soap, and borax, and soaked them, and then took a shower, scrubbed, took everything and everything that went into that place, like my shoes, my purse. I dumped my purse. I finally got smart and got a purse that's kind of made out of duffel bag material. I dumped everything from my purse in a bag and tied that up. So I'm going to have to take care of that, because I had my wallet in there. So I'm going to have to take everything out of my wallet and either wipe it down or throw it away. I'm going to have to decontaminate my wallet, which basically means spraying it with hydrogen peroxide and then maybe leaving it in the sun. So, I mean, yes, it's cross-contamination. I wasn't in there that awfully long, but still, I have to do these things because I'm already down on the power curve. So now, we're having trouble here because we think it's because we're too close to a sewage treatment plant. And so I just felt so crappy today. I just couldn't drive out to the good air. Like, I feel like I can only stand up. Oh, so that's another thing. What happened with why I went in the hospital in the first place was I had a mold exposure, and then the next day I had a significant chemical exposure, and my legs gave out. You guys, my legs gave out. I couldn't walk. And so in the ER, they put me in a wheelchair, but they were just going to let me go. But then, I went to the other hospital, and so I was only in a wheelchair for, I want to say, maybe about 30 hours because the hospital wasn't moldy. So my body started to, once I took a shower and everything, my body started to bounce back, and I could walk a little bit. But they were going to let me go out of the hospital, but I still couldn't walk. I wasn't strong enough to really walk. The doctors, not the psychiatric doctors, the medical doctors were concerned about me being able to walk. They wanted to put me in a short-term nursing care facility and get me physical therapy and stuff, but there's no way I could have done that. So I just stayed because they were all scented. They use all kinds of terrible products there. Anyway, so when I got out, I know this has been a really disjointed video. I'm sorry, but I have still a little brain fog from being in that mold yesterday. I think I was in there about an hour. So anyway, that's my concern right now. My concern right now is I had a significant mold exposure yesterday, and I know that I should go out to the good air right now, but I have to be really careful and not get a significant chemical exposure on top of the mold exposure. And so another thing that I've been doing is trying to get some warm clothes. I don't have warm clothes for winter because they all got contaminated and I had to throw them away. Anyways, I don't have warm clothes. So I've been buying, a few things here and there from Walmart and trying to decontaminate them, soaking them in this, soaking them in that, plunging them in the 5-gallon bucket with a plunger, hanging them outside, and so I guess what I'm saying is, even if I wanted to go back out camping right now, I would be hard pressed to do it because I only have maybe 2 pairs of pants right now. I have no long sleeve shirts. So I've been trying to decontaminate these clothes. So I decided that I was gonna just basically what I do is I dump the water and then I put new water, and I was gonna do a little bit of that today, and I got a little bit of a chemical hit from the clothes that have been soaking in hot water and all those borax and soap and all of that. And everything is just so laden with fragrance and pesticide, because any clothes that come to the United States from overseas, they have to be sprayed with pesticide so that there's no insect larvae in them. Anyway, so that's where I'm at right now, and I'm toying with the idea of maybe just, I finally have a safe bed, and again, my self-inflating mattress no longer inflated, so that was tough, but I have a safe bed now, and I'm literally considering putting this bed in the van and just driving out to the desert to sleep, and then coming back here in the morning. So I don't know if I'm going to do that yet, but I want to. I think that it might help because, I know that Eric Johnson talks about if your sleeping area is good, that's when you do your healing, and your detoxing is when you're sleeping. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys an update and, let you know what's going on with me. And I'm sorry I haven't kept up with this. Your prayers are appreciated. And thank you. And mold avoiders that are watching, I hope that you guys are doing well out there. I know it's rough. And if you're laying in a moldy house right now and you have chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, anxiety, depression, body aches, first of all, don't let your doctor give you fluoroquinone antibiotics no matter what. And second of all, do the best you can to get out of a moldy environment, because mold is toxic to toxic mold is toxic to everyone. You know, the myth is that it's only toxic to you if you don't have the right gene structure. It's not true. You know, it's like fire will burn anyone who sticks their hand in it, right? Mold's the same way. It's toxic to anyone. And eventually you might not have, you know, you might have not have debilitating symptoms right now, but eventually the symptoms will get worse and worse and worse if you stay in a house that has water damage. They just will. I don't like being the bearer of bad news, but it's true. And all right, so this is a really long video, so I'm going to cut it off now, and hopefully I'll do another one soon. Thanks for watching.